Om Shanti. Today is the sixth session. Last session we had, would like to concise few points and revising. We said about the Vijnanam, the science of life. Also we said it requires, in order to understand, in order to digest it, we require the assimilation of all the declarations of the scriptures, etc. This needs the capabilities of training and toning up, understanding, bringing knowledge to the faculties of mind, intellect, indriyas, everything, so that the assimilation can be done in the right manner. Revealing the absolute knowledge. For that, we said we have to practice through. Initially, in order to discipline them, for everything there has to be some discipline. So, for disciplining them, we should go through yama niyama and all that. And the declarations given in the scriptures have to be contemplated through the jnanam from the inner self. And Adi Shankara, Bhagwan Adi Sankaracharya, has, being a Jnana Vruddha, he has inscribed this Granth for the people who are really interested in following the true Vedantic principles, which Bhagavan confirms that is the only way to get, he confirms number of times, only way to get the liberation or kaivalya, mukti or moksha. That means mukti or moksha comes only when there is knowledge revealed. That's called the Atmabodha. Consciousness of the Atma. That's Atmabodha. That consciousness of the Atma can come only through knowledge. No practice, no language, no explanations can bring them. They have to be evoked. There are so many similes and examples we will be going throughout the process in this Granth. At the gist he has introduction. In introduction he says that there is no excuse or there is no allowance, there is no shortcut other than this, because Jnanam is the only way through which the liberation can be attained, because all other things are ajnanam, including the sharira, mana, all the understandings, all the external objective experiences, all the experiences, everything is ajnanam only, ignorance. So to get the liberation, the only way is only the jnana, Atma Bodha. So Bhagavan has thought about, after he has written all the documents, after he has written all the Upanishads, Vedas, transcribed them, put them in order, and many of the Granths what he has written has all been completed probably. Probably towards the end only he realized that who will understand this? Probably in his mind it has come that whatever I have strained myself so much, who will understand this? So for them, he said, they should understand it. Otherwise, my efforts for making them understand and giving the benefit of liberation, benefit of the kaivalya, benefit of the mukti will be practically a waste, or only very few will try to attempt that. He wanted that en masse people should go into it, so that, because very simple, what is his justification? Not that Adi Shankaracharya wants everybody should get mukti. No. What is he bothered about whether you get mukti or not? No. He is saying that the creation by the Parabrahman has been done only for the purpose of mukti only. This everyone has to understand. Whether you practice or not, but at least one should understand that your Janma has happened only for the purpose of liberation. The de-shackling process, you are shackled here. With so many factors you are, with many kind of shackles you are shackled, bandhana. From that bandhana there has to be a mukti. Some are bound by the golden chains, some are bound by the silver chains, some are with others. It can be any kind of material, in the sense, golden chain in the sense, the one which is absolute happiness and pleasure, and then that's golden chain. Bandhana with golden chain means that, with absolute happiness, absolute pleasure, absolute wealth, absolute this, or absolute bhakti, or absolute sannyasa. Many things are there. There are so many things. Is there everything has to come to an end towards the mukti. That is a golden chain. Then the others are different kind of chains. With bandhana with desires, bandhana with attachments, bandhana with material, bandhana with happiness, bandhana with sharira, bandhana with indriyas, bandhana with how many bandhanas we have. All a bandh. Bandhutva, the relationship, bandhutva with the golden chain. Or have been born only to get liberated from the chain, whichever chain it is. Like they said, okay, if a big man has done some crime, or they think they have done a crime, so let us put him on house arrest, they call it. Golden chain. Not in the normal prison and all that, not with the third degree. People put him on the house arrest. Bandhana is bandhana. Will he be happy? Bandhana is bandhana. You want mukti from there. He wants to come to the garden and just have a stroll. No, sorry, it's not allowed. Not even to the veranda. Within the closed doors, you can have all the enjoyments within that, no problem. But you cannot come out. All our situation is that. You cannot come out of these golden chains you are bound with. You have to be in that only. There's no way. You cannot have a stroll according to your whims and fancies. No. No. Then someone or other will come, Sharira will come, disease will come, medicines will come, attachment will come, other problems will come, wealth will come, poverty will come. Bhagavan says, no, none of them are, all are shackled. Invariable, whoever it is, have been born in the Sharira with Mana and Sharira, all are bound by these things. So he says that there is no discrimination. For whom is it? It is not for the smallest man who doesn't understand the Vedas and the Upanishad. It's also for the man who has understood everything. It's also meant for that. So he decided to prescribe this Grantha for the whole humanity, not for one. Whenever we write Upanishads and other things, whenever somebody writes a book or somebody talks about a message, it is meant for a section of people. Vedanta, Upanishads and Vedas are meant for the persons who would like to go into the Jnana Margam. Narada Bhakti Sutra, Brahma Sutra, others, they are meant for the bhakts, the devotees, how to do bhakti, bhakti granthas, bhakti, kavitas, bhakti, so many methods are there. So each one meant for different kind of people. They are all. Then why there are so many? There are so many people ask, why so many grants? It is difficult to go through. Absolutely. What do you think? Is your life easy to go through? From the day you are born till death? Is it easy? Every day there is something new you have to learn to live, survive. Question of survival we call it. Every day we are learning new things to survive. Is it not difficult? It is difficult. Instead, he says, if you go through these grants, I'll take at least, when you know the purpose of life and when you know how discipline can bring the purpose of life fulfilled as desired by the Creator, as desired or as prescribed by the Creator. Is that what is required? That is why he said, invariable to any section of people, any section of category of people, Atmabodha, let me put this. At the last he found, he decided to write this. This is the last, probably one of the last he has given so that everybody can attain the purpose of liberation. The other things then should follow. The Vedic knowledge, the Jnana. Jnana has to be there. Absolute Atmabodha has to be there. That is the purpose why Bhagavan has dedicated himself to write this for the people of this one to understand. So he made it so very well, and everyone should understand. It is not the question of, as I told you, there is no question of option there. He is not giving you any option. It is absolutely necessary to have the jnanam to get liberation, to have mukti. And mukti is the purpose of life. Where is the option? Is there any option? There is no other purpose of life. What is your purpose of life? Who wants you here? Who wants us? Who wants us here? Tell me honestly. Who wants? No one. Just in 2 days we are forgotten. Once the body is gone, let him be anybody for that matter. Within 2 days' time, out. Finished. He becomes a history. What's the history? His story. That's history. He becomes his story. Who bothers his story? I am not. You understood that? See? What is the use? Bhagavan says that is not the purpose. No. Should get the mukti. Everyone should get the mukti is the purpose. Not just living like that and going and have his story. No. So he said, this has to be done. No choice. You don't do it, that's a different thing. He's not forcing you. He is only making you conscious, look, there is no option. You can opt out. That's it. But one day or other you have to opt. Because through that option alone you can get through the life. Otherwise, number of janmas. That is why he wrote, in following this principle only, he wrote that Bhaja Govindam Punarapi Jananam Punarapi Maranam. And what is the use? It keeps on repeating, that's all. We are not coming to the purposeful life. We call it, no? The life should be purposeful life. What is a purposeful life? What is the purpose? The purpose is to liberate. Mukti. Not somehow die. No. Mukti has to be obedient. For that Atmabodha has to be. That means through the experiences. Then why we should have all these paraphernalias? We need. Because we have to experience through the experience of the externalities, through the experience of the Advaitata, we have to establish through the experience of the Dvaitata, we have to experience the Advaitata. Through the experience of the externalities, we have to identify the inner self of me. Through the attractions and attachment, I have to be detached from everything. Through the process of deshackling, I should become independent. That's called the liberation. To be independent of anything and everything. Independence is not only to fulfill the desires. Independency, no dependency at all, independent of anything for that matter. Let it be the most noble thing. Is also, if it is a dependency, that is also a golden chain. That's also a shackle. Makes you get attracted. Oh, and this. So Bhagavan says that he has created this Atmabodha for those people who have to follow it as early as possible. Anytime you can do it. But as early as possible, this wonderful garland so offered by Adi Sankaracharya to adorn Mother Shruti is Atmabodha. Is that Swamiji has written here. This is that. Mother Shruti. He said to adorn Mother Shruti, the Atmabodha. Mother Shruti he is mentioning here is that Shruti is that which is from the Atma, the voice of the Atma. The Shruti is that what? That which comes to you. Cannot come from where it comes from the Parabrahman alone. That Parabrahman which is inherent, which is Atmabodha. So this the principles laid out here, the tattvas laid out here is a garland to that Shruti. Adorning the Shruti, that means to make it beautiful, to make it visible. When you put a garland, your attention is drawn towards that, you see. That's why a garland is good. No? It is attractive. It is attractive. What attracts us to the Atmabodha? What attracts us to the Atma? What attracts, I correct myself. What attracts us to the Atma is Atmabodha. Attracts. The Shruti of Atma is adorned by the Bodha, garland of Bodha. The consciousness is the garland. So the attraction to the Atma comes because there has to be an attraction initially, after that because the attraction is lost and he becomes the Atma alone. When he becomes the Atma, he cannot know what is the garland, what is the Atma, nothing is there, everything is gone. Yes. Now we come to today's session. So this is what we understand from the previous session. Bhagavan says here further, as a modern materialistic man comes to study more and more of the contents of the Upanishads, he emphasizes, Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya emphasizes on the study of Upanishads is the end of everything. When a modern man comes to study of Upanishads, it has happened, we all experienced it, we know it very well. It is possible that he feels cheated of what? Cheated of the cheaper joys of his previous easier life, of mental distraction and physical dissipations. This negative feeling of the nameless and sad regret saps all enthusiasm in the student. Everybody, for anybody, initially when they start learning the scriptures, Upanishads are the gist of the Vedas, absolute Vedas, with the examples and with certain mixture of the present day's language and things like that. These Upanishads, this absolute knowledge, Brahmana Upanishad and the Mantra Upanishad too. Any Upanishad for that matter. These Upanishads are the ones which will take us to the absolute revelation of the Antaratma, absolute revelation, the self, what we call. In fact, even self is not a right word to be used for that. Whenever we say self, we are relating to a particular unit. Whereas the Atma or the Parabrahman is not a unit, all-pervading, sarvavyapi. Sarvavyapi in the sense, it is everywhere. Somebody has, I was debating on it's my own, I was debating on a question. Somebody has told Bhagavan is all pervading. The meaning they said that spread all over. I was thinking that is it spread all over? If it is spread all over, there has to be one unit from which it has spread. Spreading is that is called the one is a Sukshma Bhava, the other is a Sthula Bhava. If it is spread means Sthulam, If it is Sthulam, there has to be a Sukshma. Because according to me, there is nothing, as far as Brahman is concerned, there is no Sukshma, there is no Sthula. Then what? It is neither Sukshma nor Sthula. It is everywhere. Means it is that. That's all. Everything is that. That is why it is known as, then you relate. No? The same Vedantas or Vedas explains about the, in Sanskrit they call it as a Brahmanda. Brahmandan. Brahman is an under. That means an egg. Anda is what? Egg. Just like an egg. Brahma. Everything is within the egg only. So, Brahmandam. Brahman is an andam. Brahman is a seed. Brahman is a egg. That's all. Everything is same. Everything is that only. Brahman alone. Everywhere it is. That's why Sarvam Khalvidam Brahman. That's the right word. So, modern materialistic man who had been living his physical and mental pleasures, achieving all the physical and mental pleasures, suddenly comes an understanding of that they are all false. They are all swapna. False means they are all dream only. They are all swapna avastha. They are not the reality. So you can understand, probably you all must have felt, we all must have felt, that when somebody suddenly says, all these years I had been living with all these things, and suddenly somebody comes and tells me that all this what you had been living through is all absolutely false. They are all nothing true, not at all. The truth is something else. So he feels cheated of the cheaper joys. He qualifies that. Why it is cheaper? Because they are easily available. One cheap. Another cheapness is that they are not the ones which you are supposed to have it. So a cheap way of enjoying it. The true enjoyment is somewhere else and you are enjoying the cheap way of enjoyments. The cheap way of enjoyments are that only satisfying the mind and the indriyas, who are absolutely for the purpose of the external experiences, so cheaper joys for the previous easier life, because they were all easier for you to attain that. You look for all easiest, is it not? We all look for where we can get faster and easiest way of getting things done. Easier pleasures we look for. The difficult ones we say, no, let us go for something else. So easier way of getting them done. So naturally a man who is used to all this suddenly comes to the introduction part of it and they say that, look, whatever you had been doing is all wrong, is all absolutely false. So let us all start it from the beginning. So naturally he feels disappointed and then disgusted, saying that how can it be? This man suddenly comes and tells me that I had been living on this. See, look at me, how powerful I am, how wealthy I am, how graceful I am, how beautiful I am. I qualified myself, because I had been living in that falsehood of that. All this greatness, what you have superlative in this, you have used the beauty, the height and the eye and the great everything, all will vanish within few days' time. That's why he said cheaper. and stay only for that. We say artificial jewelry, cheaper jewelry we call it, no? So we know it is artificial. One day, after 2-3 rains, during puja, it will get black. So the shine has gone. The same way the shine will go at once. That we don't know. That's why Bhagavan said, it's all cheaper. Don't depend on that. They are all impermanent. They are all very temporary. It only gives you a small satisfaction, just like a dream. Small satisfaction, that's all. Don't depend on that small satisfactions. But the truth is something else. But initially, he feels deprived of his true way of living or easier way of living. This negative feeling, nameless, sad, regret, sometimes what happened, the enthusiasm, no, I don't think, like many people have told, no. Arey, is Sumar mein, when young people learn, the older people who have never tried to understand what is Vedanta, nor Bhagavan, they are advising the younger people, Arey, ye sab tum log ke liye nahi hai, it is not meant for you all. These are all when you cannot hear, when you cannot see, when you cannot walk, then you understand Vedanta. At that time you don't understand Vedanta, you will understand Anta. That only you can understand. The Anta will be known as. So Bhagavan says, but this feeling comes only so long as one has not fully realized the fact that the enchanting, fascinating of the usual Broadway distractions have a knack of wearing away too soon. One gets quickly bored of such superficialities. Yes. The day we start understanding the sweetness of the beauty of the truth, the beauty of the inner self, the beauty of the Parabrahman, we look at the other one only, the highway, recreations on both. I always say that both sides of the roads, there may be recreations. Nobody says don't look at it. Look at it. Look at it, enjoy it, no problem. But don't stand there and watch. Keep on going. There will be so many shows, there will be so many things on both sides of the road. They are not meant for you to gain the knowledge. They are not meant for a permanent enjoyment. But a man who starts understanding the true principles of the Vedanta, true principles of the self, true principles of the Veda, true principles about the Brahman, the truth of the Brahman, he starts feeling that he is somewhere really enjoying, and the other things are, my God, they are all nothing. He starts understanding that, the sweetness of it, the pleasantness of it. Whether when you are sleeping, when you are walking, when you are doing anything else, always that consciousness behind in the back of mind, always that consciousness of the Brahman is always there, where you will find everything becomes absolutely easy, everything, because of the knowledge, everything becomes revealed to you. What is in front of you? What is it? They are all small things which are usual for the purpose of experimenting and experiencing. It's not that it is not necessary. It is necessary. The life is necessary. All the happenings that in the life is also necessary. But here what he says that when you realize that inside that, then you understand the importance of the objectiveness. Through that objectiveness, even though that objectiveness is being experienced by the Indriyas and Mana, I find they are all na iti. This kind of rejection can be done so that there will be no doubt in the mind at a point of time, so that the mind can absolutely dissipate by itself, disintegrate by itself, disappear by itself into the Brahman. That's all. So that all classifications and executions, everything is only because of the absolute knowledge which reveals which is the truth. Many people have asked me, many people have asked, many people in the world, even today, many of you must be having doubts as that why these Maharishis and Tapasvis, they are doing nothing. No karmas, only doing tapasya, only doing this. What is the use? That's what many have asked. Answer is this, that. When he has realized that all the objective experiences are nothing but dualistic, Dvaita, nothing but that. Then he realizes the absolute Brahman, and through that absolute Brahman, when he realized that Advaita Siddhanta, through the Advaita, what he has understood, the Brahman alone is the truth. Sarvam Brahmamaya. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahmam. Only that Brahman is the absoluteness, and through that absoluteness, he sees every object as absolute. He sees every objective experience as absolute, because absolute is same. So when he has got the knowledge of the absolute, he has knowledge of everything that is external or internal, from where we are nothing to learn, but only to contribute. Is why he need not to do a karma for the purpose of understanding. You got what I am saying? Why we are attracted to objective or dualities? That is to be understood first. Then only you will know what is the meaning of what I said. We are attracted to objectives and dualities only because we think that will give us pleasure, that will give us happiness, that will give us mukti, that will give us liberation, that will give us all that what we want in our life. That's why we are attracted to it. Why are we attracted to wealth? We think that wealth will bring us happiness. Why are we attracted to health? We think health will bring happiness. Why are we attracted to people? Because people will bring us happiness. Everything is that selfish motive of the bringing happiness to us. But once you realize that none of these are the ones which are giving you happiness, it's the Brahman that which prevails inside you, is that what gives you the absolute happiness of Sharira, Mana, external, internal, everything. That happiness is brought is from that Brahman alone. Then why should I have attachment and attraction to the external dualities? If I can derive everything from one, why should I have thousands in order to get attracted to? When I get attracted to one, I get everything. Everything what I need. Everything what I need, not what I want. There's a difference. Everything that I need I get from that one. Why should I depend on the dualities? Why should I depend on the objectiveness? When this realization comes, then will I unnecessarily get dependent on? So many examples Upanishads have told. As a child he was attracted to a top, spinning the top or small toys. He grew up, then his attachment was something else. He rejected this, then when we became old, when he became this, his attachments and desires are different, and his requirements are different, the attachments are different. This keeps on, the different attachments keeps on going. Why? Because we think, the child thinks that when the top is spinning, it gives me pleasure, it gives me happiness. Then he says, no, driving a car gives me happiness. Owning a car, even if I don't drive, owning a car will give me happiness. There was somebody took a joke about this ticket examiner, Ticket examiner has built a beautiful house. He is always on the night duty. Never slept in his house. What is the use of it? He is always sleeping only in the train. Something like that. It is like that. He has never slept in his house. Exaggerating, of course. I mean examples. So, this is how we are all. It gives pleasure. It gives, build a house. There are so many people I have seen so many people in Bh.Aadi and many places I went where I stayed one day. Once I stayed in a beautiful house, which is made of wood, complete, teak wood, 3 stories, and I tell you, it's marvelous. It's so beautifully done, very well done. It's got 3 suites, 3 different levels, 3 suites, because the man thought that he has got 3 children, so when they come, each one can. And each one is 100% self-sufficient. It's a beautiful record. When they grew up, all I went out. After building the house, nobody has stayed in that house even for one day. He himself doesn't stay there, he stays in another small flat because he cannot maintain this. This he gives for the guest. So he has built it for others, guest house, charity. This is what happens. His desire was something else, his expectations were something else. He made so. He thought that it gave pleasure to me, So examples are there, so many examples are there. When they get why did they do that? It is because of ignorance. I don't say people should not build houses. They should build houses. But for the necessity, after understanding the necessity of it, they should do it. I mean, if one wants to live, then it's okay. If we want to do business, that's a different thing. You can have 100 houses so that you can sell when the price goes up. That's a different thing. I don't mean that. I mean, say, the house to stay. So like this, what happens is that when these things are happening, then we get, one realizes that these are all absolutely not necessary for me. My life, after the realization, after the Brahman is revealed, as a Maharishi does tapasya constantly, after revelation of the Brahman in him, the Brahman as it is, he himself has turned out to be that, he gets anything and everything that is required. An absolute happiness he has got, satisfaction or whatever you call it. It's the others who say that, oh, poor man, he is sitting under the tree. It is poor man that, poor man this and all. That is for you, that's your problem. He doesn't have any problem. I am happy, I am fine. I am self-sufficient, I am self-efficient. People go to him in order to get the blessings, and he says this, it happens. You strive the whole life, it doesn't happen, but he gives you a small blessing, immediately it happens. Ashirvadam, it happens. Diksha, it happens. Promotes you immediately, that's all. What he wants? Not for him. He is absolutely in that. He is completed. He is fulfilled. It's complete. Everything is there. So he only can give to others. We cannot give anything to others because we ourselves are demanding. We are all begging what we can give to others. An intelligent person very quickly loses all his attractions for such things. Man who is really understanding. Here intelligence in the sense, not using the brain. The one who really understands the truth, one who really understands the reality, is that what he calls as an intelligent man. The capability of understanding and accepting, contemplating and accepting the truth and the realities and what he has learned is called an intelligent man. So through that intelligence, there are we call other intelligent people are also there who uses their intelligence in order to bring destructive activities. They are not intelligent. Kubuddhis we call it. That's why in Sanskrit, sabuddhis and kubuddhis. That's not intelligent. No. Intelligence used for wrong usage is kubuddhi. It is actually mudada. It is not intelligence. We don't call it as intelligence. Bodham, the one is that bodhavan is that the one who realizes what is the truth and then accepts it. He discovers that his mind has a tendency to fly away from all its objects and entertainment and come to the torment itself by its own thought that are indeed very unpleasant. He knows his mind flies away. He realizes, he understands, and he practices how to control it, not to fly, not to go here and there. Like a fly flies and sits in all things, good and bad things. The mind also flies like that and sits anywhere it finds attractive. That's not what is required. He discovers that through the knowledge, through the intelligence, through the studies of this Vedanta Upanishad, through the realization of the Brahman inside him, he realizes that, and then a man of discriminate intellect never questions why it is so, but instead he hurriedly discovers a new set of excitements and fresh pattern of distractions to engage his mind's momentary fancy. There are various ways here. An intelligent man, he doesn't ask, okay. See, he's going step by step. An intelligent man who understands the objective of the self-realization and uses it so that he doesn't get attracted and attachment to the dualities and externalities is the one. But still he says his mind flies. Yes, his mind flies away. But to control it, now he says that how to control it? We always ask when some problem comes to us, when some unwanted things happens to us, the mind says, why? Why me? Why it is for me? Why is this happening? People have only questions. Why there is poverty? Why the bad people are enjoying too much, and we all have listened. Bad people are enjoying and good people are not enjoying. Why that is happening? Why this is happening? Here he says, when you start studying all this, Upanishads and all, man who is an intelligent man, who puts himself together, who associates himself towards that knowledge, he starts finding, not questioning that. He says, why it is happening? Let it happen. It is happening. It will happen. Could anybody remove poverty from this world, from the universe, from the day of its inception? From the day of inception. We are talking about many, many years ago also. You will find that even stories also say that there was a poor Brahmin. Have you ever said that Panchatantra Katha and all that? Who did not have any meal to eat. Then Bhagavan comes and gives me. Then also the poverty was there. Is it not? Have you read the stories here? You all read the stories. There was a poor man. There was a poor man. No. Don't ask those questions of that which is that created by the. That's a creation. That is depending upon the karma. That's why once we understand the tattvas and the Brahma tattvas and Brahmajnanam, the revelation of the self appears there. Even a Maharshi who is thinking, sitting there, he also understands. In fact, according to him, who is not poor? One is poor of wealth, another is poor of knowledge, another is poor of health, another poor of environments, another poor of attractions, another poor of bhakti, another poor of knowledge, poor of understanding. Who is intelligent? All are poor only. Like Vardhakya, Jnanavruddha, Vayovruddha, biological Vayovruddha and Buddhivruddha. There are so many Vruddhas are there, like there are 6 Vardhakyas are there. So, Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya is the Jnanavruddha. Even at the small age itself, Jnanam is high. Same way, who is not poor? In everyone there is poverty. No? Why we are looking only poverty as the one who doesn't have material to eat? Everyone is a poor man. That's why we always say also, हम लोग भी बोलते हैं ना. Every second sentence we say, oh, poor man, poor girl, poor child. We are using that only. We never say that, oh, good child. Your day-to-day usage is always poor. Why poor? Because he had that suffering, so he is poor. Bhagavan says everyone is poor. In front of me, you are all useless, downtrodden, poor fellows. Bhagavan never said, I said that. Downtrodden, good for nothing, is poor only. Useless. That means, what is poor? It's a very sophisticated word, poor, no? Actually, what he means is that you are good for nothing, useless fellows. I wasted my time creating you. is what he must be thinking, if he is thinking. So what he says here, Bhagavan says here, what happened? In general, what happened? We all do this. Okay, after understanding certain things, yeah, that is very wrong. So let me think of something else, how to come out of it. So many have turned to God. Doing puja, okay, I say, 12 Jyotirling ka yatra karenge. Till the end of yatra, I will not come back home. He goes to 12 Jyotirlinga. He goes to all the Char Dham. Okay. He goes to all the temples. There are no hills left by him. Let it be any difficult terrain to hike. He will do that and then reach there. And Bhairava, where Bhairava is sitting, let us go to Bhairava and see him and come back. Whether I get a fall, knee pain, doesn't matter. I will go and see him and come back. And one group of people will divert themselves into, which we consider as very great. I said, we consider as great. Okay. So they even turn to God, and the usual formalist religions, somebody becomes very religious people. We know how religions have created problems, and we call it as diversion of mind. It's only a kind of visit churches, mosques and temples, give away something in charity. Oh, that you don't. It's tremendous. Whenever we do something wrong, immediately we will go to the next available difficult hilltop temple and to give the charity there. give it here. यहाँ पर जो मंदिर है वहाँ नहीं देगा, वो जो पेट का नीचे एक छोटा मंदिर वहाँ 1 पैसा नहीं डालेगा. तिरुपति में जाके डायमंड रिंग 4 feet. है ना सच? Perversion of the mind, it called it. It's not charity. Charity is like that. Many people are giving charity. Somebody says, display my name. Somebody said, don't display my name, but still I will give charity. So he diverted his mind of guilt into that. Turned out to that. Build a house of God. ठीक है. मंदिर बनाएंगे. Many people are doing that. Unfinished, finished mandirs. Then somebody said, ठीक है, my jokingly said, of course, but these are all truths. I have not told that. This Swamiji is saying here. Somebody says, my mother died of cancer. In her name, in memory of Lakshmi Bhai, I built a cancer hospital. Let all the cancer people die there. So his mind has like this we give. You're all having a good time, huh? This is what people do. What Swamiji has written here. So run to a hall of sermons and then even take up to some form of prayer. There are so many kinds of prayer. You will find that when you go to many religions, many kinds of prayers are done. Some of them are really horrible. Anyway, all of them are again, you know it now, all of them are again a new variety of distraction, nothing other than that. To keep his mind away from weeping at least at itself, thus escape its own suicidal brutalities. This is what we called about 2-3 classes before. You remember that? Escapism. This is also a kind of escapism. Escaping from realizing the truth. He instead gets indulged into untruth. This is called escapism. Escapism is that one gets away from the realization of the truth and gets indulged into untruth, thinking that the mind gets diverted and then we will get the realization of the truth from there. He said that thus escape his own suicidal brutalities. He is thinking that he can escape from this because otherwise it's a suicide. That, I don't understand anything. That he doesn't want to accept. He doesn't want to accept that I am not a knowledgeable person. I don't have knowledge. I am ignorant. I don't have Brahmajnanam. He doesn't want to do that. Instead, he turns himself towards these things, escaping his ways instead of trying to understand the Brahman, staying firm into that and then struggling to get it. Instead, he puts all that struggles to divert his mind into some other things which doesn't give the benefit of it except the satisfaction of the mind. You get a satisfaction of the mind. कुंभ में जाके इतने भीड़ में इलाहाबाद में कुंभ में जाके 12 साल में एक बार जाके यहाँ पर रखे उसके अंदर में he will go and dip himself into that cold winter days. Normally it comes in December only. So January or December, whatever it is, the cold winter, and that Kumbh mein, Maharaj once in 12 years only it comes, so I must go and then dip myself so that I won't get any disease. Went with all the troubles, with all this one, cannot walk, but still walked, among the crowd, and people went, and somehow 4 o'clock in the morning got a dip into that Ganges and then cold, this one and all that, and came back. After 1 week got admitted in the hospital in order to surgery has to be done for his gallbladder. क्या हुआ? Escape. See, put the blame on that. Or trying to avoid all these things, you go to Kumbh and do bathe, no problem. Brahman, okay. No problem. Nobody says that. But for क्या हुआ? मन्नत मांगा है, उधर वहां जाके गंगा नहाएंगे. There is a purpose behind it, diverting the mind on. You see how funny it looks? Go, have a dip during Kumbh. It is good, no doubt. It is good, no doubt. But not with this purpose. This is what happens. So that's what Swamiji says. If people thus follow religion as an escape from themselves, ultimately come to gain nothing except perhaps a lingering sorrow dulled by a blind faith that becomes the very capacity to perceive his own tragedies of life. That's all. So, I have explained everything, this whole sentence. Scientific detachment, honest observation, logical conclusions and heroic decisions alone can help an individual to come away from his own life's fallacies. The life's fallacies. You have to come out of it. Come out of those fallacies. We are all entangled and live and don't want to leave it. We attach, we are scared of leaving those fallacies of our life. So in order to do that, what he says? Scientific detachment. What is scientific detachment? We said Vedanta is a science of way of living. Scientific detachment in the sense, Vedic detachment. What is that detachment? Desirous detachments. Selfish motive to detachments are desirous detachment. If I get that, I should be. We are all our attachments are only based on your own selfish motive. This I have told number of times, I think earlier also now. Because you feel happy by that attachment. Where you don't feel happy, that which you have attached with great happiness some time back, you won't take even 1 second to detach it and throw it out. You are not happy? You have seen it. We were talking yesterday, we were discussing somebody came, no? Yeah. Brothers, we said, yes. They lived together so happily when the parents were there. As all together happily. The moment money has come or something, some other reason, parents have passed away, money has come. Within a fraction of a second, you are no more my brother. I disown you. That's all. Not only disown you, he has become the enemy. Whatever possible disturbance I can do, I will do it for him. It has come to that. No? Where did this go? All the attachments? No? It was very conveniently done, no? For the self-motive, self-happiness, for personal happiness. The day that happiness is finished or my expectation from that person is taken, we detach. Everyone is safe. detach and throw it out within a fraction of a second. This is what he is talking about. That scientific detachment. This is what unscientific detachment would be. Because even attachment was unscientific, so detachment is also unscientific. Scientific detachment is that everything is beautiful, everything is sarvam brahmamaya. Once the self-realization comes, there is nothing which I don't like. The state comes that everything is Bhagavan, everything is Ishvara. That is why Hindu Shastra, in Hindutva, in Hindu Shastra, a tree is worshipped, an animal is worshipped, the snake is worshipped, or anything for that. Anything that is there in the leaf is worshipped. Anything that is there in the world, everything is worshipped. What is that principle actually? Somebody asked, no? Many of the foreigners or many of our own people who doesn't understand. Why are you praying to that Shivalinga which is kept under the tree? Why not go to Banaras and do the worship? Shiv there and Shiv here. The man who understood the Shiv there and Shiv here is the same Shiva. Shiva is not two, Shiva is only one. For him, wherever he stands and prays, he is Banaras. He comes to that. When he comes to that, where is the question of difference? That's called scientific detachment. Attachment to everything in the same pattern is called scientific detachment. There is nothing to detach from me is called scientific detachment. The new meaning derived out of it. There is nothing to detach is called scientific detachment. If there is something if I have got attached to, then only I will detach. I have not got attached to. Who am I to get attracted to? Because it is not that I am getting it, the object is attracting me, it is I who is attracting the object. It's I who is attaching myself. It's I. When that attachment is not there for individual purposes and satisfaction and purposeful way of acceptance, then it is what? Scientific detachment. Vedantic way of living. I always say that scientific way of Vedantic way of living. Vedic way of living, or the what's that? I used to tell about the dharmic way of living. That's called dharmam. Dharmic way of living. Dharmam is what? Dharmam is that maintaining that science of detachment, that is Vedic detachment. That's called. When you have that, your way of living will be totally different. Your outlook will be different. Your pravrti will be different. Your karma will be different. Everything will be dharmic only. Adharma comes only when you become an adharmi. What is adharma? Adharma is that should belong to me. I like that, I love that, I possess that, I remove, I reject that. I reject that is also attachment. I don't like it is also attachment. I don't want it is also attachment. It's not detachment. Everything is attachment. Scientific way of detachment, Vedic way of attachment, dharmic way of living. In dharmic way of living, there is no disparities. There are no disparities. There is only one way of application in everything, in everyone. Whether it is under the tree Shivlinga or in Banaras Shivlinga, my prayer towards that Shiv will be absolutely same. It's not that I won't go there. I will also go to Banaras. I will also go to under the tree Shivlinga. But my prayer will be the same. Okay? This is called scientific way of detachment. My attachment to my disciples will be the same. There is no difference. My blessings for them, my well wishes for them will be the same. My teaching for them, my expectations for them will be the same. There is no disparities of that. To the world, I don't have any disparities. I will be that. My way of thinking, my way of being, my being will be that alone. It's called dharmic way of living. Others may look disparity in me. Me means the one who is living in dharmic way, not me. Okay. They may look in disparities in me. They may look differences in me. They may for them I may appear in different ways and means. But my inner self is same. Is called a true tapasvi, a true jnani, a true brahmajnani. For him, everything is sarvam brahmamaya. Sarvam. This is called scientific detachment. In scientific detachment, there is no attachment there at all. The question of detachment comes. In a Brahmajnani, there is no attachment at all. No attachment. Then what? Absolute love, karuna, daya, blessings. No attachment. Everywhere karuna, everywhere karunyam, everywhere daya, everywhere blessings, everywhere ashirvada, everywhere sat bhavana is called. So there is no question of attachment. So he says here, you should learn how to do the scientific detachment in the sense that wherever the selfish motive is there, that can be removed. When you understand the absolute Brahman inside you, automatically the selfish attachment will get removed. That's all. Otherwise it is difficult to remove. How many items you will remove from? 90. No end of removal. So many things are there. Every day it is accumulating the list of attachments. How many you will remove? How many days you will remove? You will be keeping on busy only in that. So, once you realize it, all other things are automatically dissolved. Why? Because they are not real. This is a mirage, like a mirage. You stand far away in the mirage. There is the water. Same way you have that, you see, when you बहुत लोग बोलते भी है ना रिलेशनशिप में भी है अरे दूर रहो तो ठीक है बात टेलीफोन में कर लो तो सब लोग बोलेगा अरे यार तू बड़ा आई मिस यू एंड ऑल दैट बट व्हेन दे कम closer and stay for 2-3 days I don't know when will I miss this then I will say I miss you. Here you will say it's, I want to miss you now. Go. दूर रहो बोलता है. So same way detachment is that. बहुत लोग I have heard so many elderly people saying, अरे दूर रहने से प्यार बढ़ता है. And I think general saying in all the houses and all. See how scientific they have been. I mean, even though they might not be knowing what they are telling is absolutely true. Because dur raho is very correct. It is not wrong. What the grandmother said, dur rehne se pyar badhta hai, is not wrong. Why? Because dur rehne se there is no personal expectations from that person. I know I can only approach through the telephone and say hello, hello, and then ye takleef hai, wo takleef hai, and khatam. That's all. We cannot expect anything from that person, anything else. So what happens? Pyar rehta hai. So this is called scientific detachment in another way. There is no attachment, there is no expectation, there is no attachment, there is no want, there is no desire, nothing. ठीक है, जब मिला तो मिला, देखा तो देखा, सुना तो सुना, बस दूर रहो. दूर रहो, not from the person, दूर रहो from the attachment to that person. That is what the grandmother said. So दूर रहने से प्यार बढ़ता है, दूर रहने से expectations are not there. So what happens? The love and affection, karuna, daya and all that. This is what Bhagwan or the Guru gives to the disciples. And Bhakta, scientific detachment, you understood now? Suppose somebody who is not explained these things, reading this about scientific detachment, what will you understand? Dharmic way of living is called scientific detachment, where there is no attachment. When there is no attachment, everything is safe. There is no expectation from that into it. It doesn't mean that things are not there. Things are all there. But specifically, I don't have any attachment to it. It's called scientific detachment. So, no attachment. Beautifully written. Very nice. I liked it. Honest observations. Observe everything. Roadside, wayside, funds, circuses. Observe. Don't get involved in it. Observing in the sense, not involved. Learn from that. Observation is meant for learning. That's why in every hilltop you will find an observatory. देखा है ना? बड़ा एक बाइनोकुलर लगा हुआ. हम लोग ऊटी में गया था तो उसको ऊपर में चढ़ के बड़ा तकलीफ होता था. Both of us have knee pain. किसी तरह क्यों observatory देखने का है. With all difficulty and cold and तो एक बाइनोकुलर रखा हुआ है. बस देखिए. वो देखो उधर मैसूर है. ये देखो तमिलनाडु है. इधर देखो कुछ नहीं है. ये for what? Observe, go back, that's all. Nothing else. What have you achieved? Observation. Okay. Observatory. Observation. Our life is observations only. Observe it. It is in this direction. That is there, but I am not getting attached to where I am seeing. What is that Mysore? What is that this? No. Observatory is meant for that. Wherever we are supposed to be observing, from observing one learns from that. It's not that to be not to get involved in it. From the observation, one has to learn. Principle of the great principle of the Gurukula Vidyabhyasa. Observation. It's not joke about. It was a joke on observatory suddenly came when looking through the binoculars. Looking through the telescope. Star watching, many people are doing and all that. All observations. Okay. From observations, we have to learn something. It's called true observation. That's why observe. Observe is not seeing. Seeing is different. Just look at it and forget about it. Saw the stars. Oh, I've seen the South and that Dhruva at this side and that side. Saturn this side. Oh, with a ring and all that. Okay. Uske baad mein Saturn. What difference does it make to me if Saturn is there with a ring or without ring? How does it matter to me whether Saturn has got a ring or not? That is not observation. Even though we call it observing. From observe. We have to serve. That means observing that in order to do the service to that. In Gurukula Vidyabhyasam, Tapasvi Maharshi will be there, Tapasvi Guru Acharya will be there, Guru will be there, disciples are there. Even though some of the lessons he has to explain them absolutely, but throughout the day, 24 hours including sleeping also, the disciples have to observe the Guru, environments of the Guru, all the except, what all he is doing. Observance of the environments, observance of the... Everything there has to be completely observed. You will find that teaches them quite a lot of things. From there, they learn quite a lot of things. Not only from the recitation that one learns from observing. How does it? How the Guru does tapasya. How does he sit? I mean, I'm just telling you small things. Why does he do that tapasya? Why he is doing at that particular time? Why he is doing this? He jokes with the students, he plays with the students, he teaches them, he punishes them, he does everything. But observe him. Why he is doing all this? What are the things? How is he living his life? How the simplicity is beneficial for the purpose of life. How powerful he has become. How he has become so powerful than me. Acharya is much more powerful. Guru is much more powerful. How he has become powerful. This he has to learn from observation. Not that everything is taught. Nothing is taught. I always say that there are no teachers. Learning has to be. Everything has to be learned. That's called the, I think, honest observation. Logical conclusions. Logical conclusions. Conclusions are those after understanding all the dharmic way of living, the Vedic detachment, honest observations. It's all serially it has to come, one after another. Then comes to the logical conclusions. Logical conclusions in the sense is to suit the present condition of living. I have got it now. This is dharmic way of living, scientific detachment. There is honest way of observation. Honest observation. All this have to be utilized for logical conclusion of these two should be made for the purpose of utility of my life in this way of living. I have a sharira and mana. So in order to lead my life in this janma, I have to utilize this scientific way of detachment and observation to the benefit of my execution of karmas and exhausting them and getting liberation. For the purpose of that is called the logical conclusion, how to conclude it. No, it's not that, you don't know what to do. Okay, this is the dharmic way of living. This is observation I have done. Now what? I will live the way I had been living. No. A logical conclusion has to be brought to the present way of living that you are doing through the dharmic way of living and observation of the Guru and Acharya and Bhagwan and the Brahman. And heroic decisions. Heroic decisions is that firm self-appreciation. Hero means what? Heroic decision. Self-appreciating decisions have to be taken after that. From logical conclusions, I have to take that heroic, that means self-appreciating decisions. That means self-appreciation is what? I can understand the dharmic way of living. I believe in that. I will follow that. I will execute those what I have observed with the Guru, observed with the Acharya, observed with the Parabrahman, and that conclusions I will apply as very firm, determined way in my life I will execute it. Is called I am the hero of mine. It's a heroic way of execution of that I will follow this. That means when a man takes a decision and determination that I will do it, he does it, he earns his self-respect. Others falsely respecting, आप मेरे माँ बाप है, बहुत लोग होते हैं, अरे कभी नहीं माँ बाप हो सकता. Self-respect, that after doing all these things, I am this. Whether somebody understands it or immaterial, I am this, I am firm, I am following that. I am so happy. I got respect and regard towards my own decisions, my own pravritti, my own karma, my own dharma, my own things. I have that. This is called self-respect. So that others don't have to understand that. Others don't have to be made understand that. Self-respect. I don't lose myself. I will not do what is self-respect in a smaller language. I mean, when you precipitate down, that I will not do anything that to defame me or destroy me or distract me or something against my principles is called this. We say that, oh, uska self-respect hai, mera self-respect hai. That means whatever I am thinking, I should not be doing something against that. That's called heroic decision. The heroic decision should be based on the scientific detachment, the honest observation, and logical conclusion should be the heroic decision. That's right. We stop here. We will continue. Om Shanti.